Hi, this is the first of a series of tutorials on Adobe Illustrator and Adobe InDesign. In the first tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a simple logo and export it, and in the second tutorial, we're going to place that logo in an InDesign document and wrap text around it. Now, first I'm just going to go over some of the basic Adobe Illustrator options. We have the toolbar up top, the option bar, which changes according to what object you have selected in the toolbox, which is this long vertical box right here that contains the tools that are basically standard across the Adobe suite of products. You have your selection tools at top, type tool, shape tool, line, and here you have the zoom tool, color swatches here. And across to the right of the screen, we have your palettes. So you can kind of click down and see what palettes are available here. There's a few ways to select colors at the top. The stroke, gradient, etc. And the whole window that your canvas is placed in is called the document window. And your canvas in Illustrator is called the artboard. And a document window can hold multiple artboards. Alright, now I'd like you to go ahead and select the type tool. We're going to start off by typing the first letter of your first name, just to make a simple logo. Alright, and after you type that letter, go ahead and grab the dark selection tool up at the very top of the toolbox. And once you grab that, you'll notice there are bounding boxes around your character. Okay. Now, with the character selected, go up in the menu bar and click Type, and we're going to pull down to Create Outlines. Now, your character is no longer seen as a font by Adobe Illustrator. It's an object, just a shape, so you can't go back and change fonts at this point. Alright, we're going to go ahead and select the pen tool. And I'd like you just to add a couple of points on your character. You can click anywhere that is a good spot where you can clearly put a point. Just add a couple of points on the character with the pen tool. I'm just going to show you how to modify the character now that it's not a font but is in fact outlines in Adobe Illustrator. Make your points with the pen tool, and then I'd like you to go and select the direct selection tool, which is the second from the top. It's the white one. And the anchors you just added to your character, we're just going to play around with it. I'd just like you to see how you can change the shape by dragging the points around. After you change the shape, go ahead and select the direct selection tool and we can scale it. And if you hold the Shift key down while you're scaling it, your object will maintain the same aspect ratio. And if you don't want that, just don't hold down the Shift key and you can make any kind of aspect ratio you'd like and change your object out any way you'd like. Alright, now let's just get to a point where we have a nice big object to work with, and we'll make sure it's selected with the dark selection tool. And I'd like to just go ahead and change the color of this for my logo. So we're going to go back over to the palette window here on the right, and I'm going to click at the very top, which is the color palette. And making sure that my object is still selected, which I can see by the box that surrounds it, I want to change the fill of my object. So we're going to move over here to the swatches in the color palette and make sure that the top swatch is selected, and that is the fill swatch. You'll notice right beneath it is the stroke swatch, which basically looks like a frame with nothing in it. Alright, going back to select the fill swatch, we're going to go in the color picker and click on a color you like, and you can change the values here in each slider. And next, click on the stroke swatch. And before you choose a color for the stroke, we're going to want to go and make sure that there is a stroke, in fact, applied to this object. Alright, now make sure your object is selected, and you're going to see this group of palettes up here, including the stroke weight option box. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and add a, let's say, 3-point stroke to this. So you could change your color here, the stroke palette, and once again you can change your fill color here. You'll find in Illustrator there are multiple ways to complete the same action. It just depends on what your preference is. So find a fill and stroke you're happy with, and we're going to go ahead and export this so we could use it in InDesign. Now you don't have to worry about cropping this document because in Illustrator the software basically is smart and can recognize the boundaries of the object when you export and will do an automatic cropping job for you. So let's go up to File, and we're going to go down to Export. Now I would recommend saving as a TIFF. That's good for a print format. You don't want to save as a JPEG because that is a raster-based format which works better with Adobe Photoshop. So go ahead, save your logo as a TIFF file, and just go ahead with the default options. And next we're going to go and open this and place it in an InDesign document.